Now think for a second and realize that if in a good part of our life we are involved in the discovery of that which is universal and worth sharing with each other, and even as that is the case, we share it in literature, we share it in our hearts, we share it in our memories, we share it in our poetry, in our music, and in our graphics. And really, there's no way out of it. Without the arts, we have no sacred, because a sung Eucharist is in one sense religious, because it, in Latin, when they used to have it in Latin, would be talking about a theory of God, but basically the thing which was God-like, which was not taught but caught, was the music itself. At which point we no longer have to have simplistic back hills, born again, ignoble because it's so commonplace, beating of the band and the drum to pretend that we are near God. We are near God as ever we can be. Those millions of years of evolution left us with sentience, with minds, with eyes, with ears, and with something that put it all together, a synthesis which is human. We are probably a million years behind what will follow, if there is a following, or what's somewhere in some celestial place humans may have gone further towards. But in our lives, the best there is in the world is our minds, and in our minds, our sensorium, our eyes, our olfactory sense, whatever it may be. We make of that the universal, the discovery, and in doing that, we recompose a world and discover the miracle of that world. And then, if you wish to add or not add a belief in some superior being, that's anybody's desire. But I think it's right here and now and every minute of our life that we encounter in sight and in hearing and in music and in all the wonderful, formal, phenomenal cadences with the dignity and the organization and the mathematical wonder of music, of art, whatever it is. I think we discover the sacred that way. So that in a way the school really has a philosophy which is the ultimate extension of communication through word, through mind, through music, through dance, and all of its other wonderful forms in drama and in beauty. And I think that was the commitment of this school, and I think that while many have contributed to it, many haven't understood a word I've just said to you and never would, because they're wondering when their dinner is next, when they'll next get laid, have some sex, which God knows is fun to do, and is itself transcendent when that thing takes place we call love, which means respect and caring and worshiping and believing that when our bodies are most intimate, we are most sacred. And if that isn't true, to the extent it isn't true, we become rapists and rapine and bawdy and pornographers, and that's the world we are not sharing with our children, so that they may grow up and be at orgasm or beatitude or epiphany, they'll know that life can be sacred through the arts, through our minds, and through our acuities, our sight and hearing. And that, I guess, is the commitment of the school, this school. And my commitment when I came here, the commitment I made to life that brought me here, because I knew at our highest level of understanding and insight, not only are we learning, but we are at every moment teaching, because that is the person we've become. So that no one's going to simply accept a simplistic song, a rhyming verse without any profound meaning, or anything else that is transparent, that we seek not the esoteric but the perfect. And the perfect, by definition, is esoteric. That is, it cannot belong to the multitude of man. This school was not created for the multitude of mankind. It was created for those artists, those dancers, the instrumentalists, all of those things which are part of our aesthetic life, and which in the end, ironically, give them high scores and all that crap. But the high scores because they start out sentient, alive, aware of the divinity of life itself, and of sensuality within that life. To not know that is to know nothing, absolutely nothing. The drunken deadbeat on the street, the unspeakable bully, the entire notion that you can take things. Rape is a part of the nether world, the hell that we create is a world without art, the artless, taking, breaking, destroying. The world that is sacred is recreating, and within that there is the communion of self, of sex, of art, of beauty, of music. I think that's what the school was about, and is about, and will be in the young minds of these wonderful people we send out, such that I went to some of our seniors and said, you are poets. It is your duty to carry on your lives, putting have books together, writing your poetry together, making your music together. Somehow they have some of all of it. And that is their gift to us, and then in turn, our gift to the world. And that's what our school's about. It's a celebrating that we do. And that's what St. Anne's is meant to do. And the reason it will be difficult to find someone is because the money behind schools like this is contained in the unspeakable, constipated, oversized stomachs of corporate types. They don't have the sensitivity. They do not know how, in any senses of that word, to make love. They do not have the sensuality. They cannot conceive of what pleasure we who love art, who understand literature, who can hear music, who can make love, have. That's their blindness. So one has to hope that what will prevail are those whom we call the most intelligent, by which we mean really those who understand the most, and those we have. And did I not last night see a play of Melissa Gibson wrote it, and it was beautiful. And at some point it reached me totally, as Godot had reached me years ago, and I felt that we'd let in more light and more awareness, and told it other universal things to those who come along and will understand it. And they will come along and they will understand it. And to do so they may need unspeakable 50,000 words, 500 poets and artists and writers and musicians. And above all, they may need a sense of discovery and discovering and finally creating. That's what we're